Hey, what's going on everybody, and welcome back to another Fallout 4 mod throwback, the show where we take a look at some older mods that for whatever reason I didn't cover on their initial release, but I think deserve a lot more attention right now. And for today's mod, we're checking out a really wonderful all-purpose bolt-action rifle, and that's going to be the Day of Infamy M1903 by Shaquille Wang and many others. Now, this mod was initially ported over from the video game Day of Infamy, along with all of its models, and has since been picked up by Shaquille Wang, who has worked on getting this thing in-game and fully functional with complete custom animations, as well as a bunch of other assets from other mods to make this thing really, really cool. Now, this weapon doesn't have a ton in the way of attachments at the weapons workbench, however, I think it offers some really cool features that make this thing really unique and a whole lot of fun to use. And who knows, maybe one day if this thing gets enough attention and people support it enough, it may get an add-on pack for more attachments. Maybe that's something we could see in the future, who knows, but for now, let's talk about what you do get with the current version of the Springfield M1903. So, in this mod, you get the Springfield M1903. This thing is added to the leveled list, so you will find it out on the world on different enemies like raiders and gunners. And this thing has kind of two different versions. It is only one weapon, but when you take it to the weapons workbench, you can change out the receivers for an infantry version and a sniper version, which will perform differently and mostly affects the reload of this thing. It doesn't really change out the damage, but more changes out the playstyle. So we'll talk about that a little bit more when we get to the workbench section of the video. I just want to note that because I think it's one of the coolest features of this mod. Now, like I said earlier, this thing does have custom animations, and they are actually brought over from the Mosin Nagant mod, and they work really, really well. Not to mention, with the sniper variant, you actually do get bullet counted reload support. So if you have a bullet counted reload, this thing will work flawlessly with that, which is awesome. With that, let's go ahead and take this thing in-game so we can see some of its stats and some of the more nitty-gritty details that you get with this weapon. So here we are in-game with the most basic version of the M1903 with a standard infantry receiver and no damage modifiers or perks. This thing has a base damage of 45. By default, it is chambered in 308, though you can download a patch for the new calibers mod so you can have more accurate ammo types. This thing has a fire rate of 4 as it is bolt action, a range of 203, an accuracy of 73, a weight of 9 pounds, and a value of 310 caps. And altogether, this thing is just a really beautiful rifle. As you can see, the model looks amazing. Again, this comes from the game Day of Infamy, which makes some really nice classic firearms. Now, really quick, let's talk about the animations and the sound effects for this mod, as I think they are absolutely incredible. First of all, let's take a look at the infantry rifle, which you will be reloading with a stripper clip. Let's go ahead and check that out now. Now, with the infantry rifle, no matter how many rounds you shoot, even with bullet counted reload, it's always going to use the stripper clip, which honestly I do prefer. It may not make the most sense. If you only shoot one round, you should only reload one round, but in cases where you shoot 3 bullets, it's actually slower to load them individually, so you might as well just use the stripper clip. Now, as for the sniper variant, this thing you actually do load 1 round at a time, and you can load them whenever. So let's go ahead and check that out. I also have a suppressor on this so you can hear the suppressed sound effects. There you go. Now, again, these animations do come from the Mosin, so if you see a tiny bit of clipping, that is just something that is a little bit unavoidable since you are borrowing animations. But honestly, I think it's fine and it works really, really well. Now then, when it comes to the weapons workbench, there isn't a ton, like I said earlier. You can do a couple of things with this. For example, you have your standard setup right here. I have something that is a little bit more focused on infantry, has the highest damage possible. You can throw a bayonet on there, which makes it pretty viable for poking things that are a little bit further away from you. You can also do a standard sniper variant, or you can really lean into that sniper with a very long scope. So let's check out all of the attachments that we have. Starting with the receivers, we have your standard allotment of standard receivers all the way up to advanced with 2 different versions of each, the infantry and the sniper, which is going to change out that reload style. Throwing it into the sniper receiver is also going to remove the iron sights and allow you to throw on scopes, which is pretty neat. For barrels, we only have the 1 barrel option and only 1 stock option as well. This is something I would love to see changed with an update at some point, but who knows if we'll ever see that. Same goes for the magazine, you only get the 5-round clip. For muzzles though, we do have a couple of options. You have the no muzzle, a bayonet, and a suppressor, so at least we do get that. And then finally there is a damage modifier, so if your damage isn't high enough already with the receiver modifications, you can also add a damage modifier up to 80%, giving this thing some pretty good damage. Now then, if we take our M1903 and add a sniper receiver like I said earlier, we will also get that scope section where we can add on the standard sights yet again. You just have to reapply them whenever you change out the receivers, as it does have a different attachment point. And then you can throw on a 4x scope or the crazy 8x scope, which takes up pretty much the whole length of the weapon, but I really like this thing. It's so cool looking. Alright, and now it is time for our damage test. Today we will be doing only 2 tests, one to see the standard receiver with no attachments and no perks, and then again to see a fully upgraded receiver with that maximum damage modifier, still with no perks, just so we can see the maximum potential of the weapon itself. And after that we will be doing something new for the channel, and that is an accuracy and range test, and we'll get into that in just a little bit. Let's go ahead and start with the damage test. Here is a standard receiver with no attachments and no perks. Let's see how this thing performs. As you can see, with 1 clip, we're not even halfway through the Deathclaw's health, and we are even aiming for its weak point, so this is going to take a little while. Now, while that did take a little while because of the bolt action and a slightly lengthy reload, all things considered, it wasn't that bad with only 13 shots to bring down a Deathclaw with no modifications and no perks. Let's see how we do with a fully upgraded receiver. Now that thing had some serious power behind it, using only 4 shots to kill the Deathclaw, meaning we have 1 extra. Pretty neat. Let's go ahead and grab a scoped version with the maximum magnification and head up to our testing platform here, where we can check out the range on this thing. We have targets set up at different distances. One here, a little bit further, a lot a bit further, up on the roof over there, and then the furthest one all the way across on the other side of Spectacle Island. And let's see how well this thing performs at range and how accurate it is. Starting pretty close. As expected, it takes down to the raider, no problem. Moving on to the next target. Same story. And on to the next. And then on to our rooftop target. And then finally, all the way across Spectacle Island, who has disappeared. Neat. Dude, I told you to stand in one spot. You have one job. It's stand right here. Luckily, replacements are easy. God damn it. Alright, now you stay put. All that work just to land a shot that I know this thing can totally make. Alright, they better still be there. Perfect. Alright, testing at maximum range, the Springfield M1903 totally lands the hit. Nice. Alright, this thing is really a good option for range. Neat. So yeah, guys, that is the M1903. This thing is awesome. Again, it is a bit lacking in the attachment department, but honestly, I think its features make up for that with the bullet count and reload support, as well as the 2 different reload animations depending on if it's an infantry or sniper variant. Again, those are borrowed from the Mosin, but if you want a nice American rifle, I highly recommend checking this one out as well. This thing is super cool. If you want to try it out for yourself, it will be linked down in the description below as always, and I hope you try it out and I hope you enjoy it. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to drop a rating, subscribe if you haven't already for more videos just like this, and as always, big shout out to all of my patrons. You guys make videos like this possible. Thank you so much for your continued support, and if for whatever reason you want to support the channel further and check out the Patreon, we offer things like early access to my mods, as well as sneak peeks and special Discord roles. So if that sounds like something you're interested, you can go and check it out, but it is completely optional. Thank you guys so much for supporting me as it is here on YouTube. With that, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace!